I really hope this video finds you if you've been having trouble with your Epson WF7720 printer being out of the vertical alignment. I have had that problem for almost a year now, and I was at my wit's end of trying to figure out what to do. All the advice out there is do the alignment check, get the printout, look for the best box. But if you're having the issue that I was having, the vertical alignment boxes had these big gaps in them. So it made it really, really hard to pick the best box. It's impossible for us if your printer is that far out of alignment. This advice is not going to work for you, unfortunately. I did try cleaning my printer head because a lot of comments that I saw was because we had clogs in the ink lines or the print lines. So I did that. I got this syringe with the cleaning solution. I heated it up. I put it through. I did so many flushes. Like my maintenance box is probably 80+% full. I did everything I could think of over the year because it wasn't fixing and I didn't know what to do. So what I'm going to tell you right now is that advice for finding the best box, that is not going to work for us right now if we're that far out of alignment. If your boxes have giant gaps, push that out the window for now. It's not going to work for you. So what we need to do is run the alignment check for the vertical alignment. It's going to push out that page and you're going to see the dreaded boxes with all the spaces, okay? Don't worry about that. Pick one line. So for me, I worked on lines 2 and lines 3 because for whatever reason, one day magically, my line number 1 suddenly worked. It was suddenly aligned. So for me, I was working on lines 2 and 3. I wanted just to pick 2 lines or 1 line and just see if I could do anything to make an improvement. And so now it's asking us to enter the settings, like what is the best box? Just ignore that. What you're going to do is for the lines that you're working on. So if you pick one line, let's say you're going to work on line number 2. So for line number 1, you're going to push the number 4. That's going to keep the alignment right in the center. Okay, it's not going to move. For line number 2, which is the line I wanted to fix, I chose setting number 7. And then for line number 3, because I was doing the same one at the same time, I also chose number 7. For everything else, I chose 4. Okay, so when it asked me to enter pick the best boxes, I entered 4, 7, 7, 4, 4, 4. And then it said done, so I ran the alignment again. And I did these steps over and over and over again. I kept doing it. I probably did it a good 10 times. And when I took the printout number 1 and I took the printout maybe 10 or 11 or 12, I started to see the boxes moving. That gave me hope because I'm like, oh my God, I think it's working. What I found is that when I chose 7, and the camera's going to be backwards, so I will try and make a little note, but when I pushed 7, it moved everything left. Everything went towards the left side. And that started to make those spaces a little bit narrower for me. And so I kept running that pattern. So I did 4, 7, 7, 4, 4, 4. And I did that a bunch more times until line 2 started getting really close. It got really close to being good. So then I started choosing number 6 or number 5. I'm going to say spaces because I don't know what other unit to talk about. So when I chose 7, it took 3 spaces to the left. So as I'm getting closer to the box being solid, I started choosing 6 because that moved it maybe 2 spaces. And I started choosing number 5 because it would move just very tiny, maybe 1 space over. And again, 4 kept everything exactly the same. It didn't move left or right. And so I kept doing that until I was really happy with that box. And I think that's where you can start using pick the best box as well, because you should, out of all those 7 choices, you should start to see one that is looking best when you're that close. And then so the rest of the lines that were still quite far out of alignment, I chose 7 and I just kept printing and I kept repeating, redoing, realigning 7, 7, 7 until they started getting really close. And then I started that fine tuning again of using number 6 or number 5, depending on how big I wanted that space to go. If none of that works for you, maybe your alignment's the other way. Maybe try one, and maybe that'll start moving everything towards the right for you. Maybe that's where your alignment is out. But for me, number 7, that was where I was at. 7 worked for all of my lines, and it got everything back into alignment. So I'm really, really hoping that's something that's going to help you, because in the year, I have never found a solution that somebody has posted. And I really want to share it because it was so frustrating, and I just I don't want anybody else to have to feel like that. So good luck, and I hope this works for you.